Pisani at the NYSE. Well, the rally in altcoins aside, our next guest says that Bitcoin is flashing a rare buy sign that is hinting at a huge rally ahead. Dan Moorhead is the CEO of Pantera Capital. He's here on set with us. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
What are you seeing in the charts? What are you seeing out there that makes you think the worst is over?
So Bitcoin's been growing at 165% per year for 6 years that we've been in business. And something that's growing that fast hardly ever gets down below its 200-day moving average. When it does, it's a very good time to buy. It did 5 years ago when we launched our first fund, and it just crossed that earlier in April.
What makes this different from another asset where you might say, you know, crossing below the 200-day moving average is actually a bad thing?
Yeah, so they use, technical traders use these different averages to decide when to get in, but it's amazing that Bitcoin goes up so quickly that when it just gets back to its average, that means it's time to buy again because it's been a vertical line for 8 years.
Dan, congratulations on being an institutional investor who's doing, alternative assets and emerging markets and other things long before you stumbled onto this, but you stumbled very, very early, so you didn't just jump on this train. What's holding back other institutions? You're as well suited to opine on this. You've been running an institutional hedge fund business for a long time.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of credentialization milestones. The biggest one recently is the CME and CBOE doing futures. That helps bring in other investors. I think the last big one is a SEC regulated custodian. So when we launched our first fund, we had all the standard things you'd have in a normal hedge fund, but you don't yet have a regulated custodian. And I think that's the last piece. And some firms have announced that they will do crypto custody within the next, say, 12 months. And I think that'll be a very big moment.
I'm sure, when Bitcoin...
So you heard that. He has a price prediction, just like mine, that Bitcoin will hit 20,000 by the end of the year. My prediction, if you've been following the channel, is the market cap for cryptocurrencies should surpass the all-time high of 850 billion and should easily go over 1 trillion by the end of the year. So it's good to see some bulls that are also jumping on the bandwagon. So I'm happy about that. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the mic. So anyways, personally, I think it's a great time to buy. I would definitely make a move. If you haven't got into the market, I think you kind of missed it. I was preaching that you want to buy at the all-time lows, and we didn't hit the all-time lows since November. I believe that market cap, we haven't seen that price since November, and if you dollar cost average, you were basically buying, and your average buy should have been obviously decreasing from the all-time highs of 20,000. And it's interesting that they're now bullish. I'm sure plenty of other guys will be bullish once that custodial account is released. I've mentioned in previous videos that that's the true sign to a bull market, when they allow the SEC and the government regulators allow the ETFs to be created, which requires the custodianship. That's where we not only just break a trillion market cap, but I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years we break 5 trillion, maybe even 10 trillion market cap, which right now sounds crazy because that would be over 10 times, more than that. 10 trillion would be like 30 times the growth. So maybe I'm being a little too optimistic. Obviously this is like 3 to 5 years, but let me know what you guys think. Definitely, if you haven't had a chance, I would get a Coinbase account, get a Robinhood, and if you haven't bought, I would definitely make a move. And you should definitely learn how to put in limit orders. Gemini has limit orders, and GDAX has limit orders. And I would definitely be prepared to buy a larger dip, because even though I'm very bullish, I don't want to be pessimistic and make everyone upset, but I do think there is an opportunity where we will go below the 250 billion market cap. And I believe that may happen before we get the crazy bull run. And obviously, if this ETF and custodianship regulations are passed, then I'm not as afraid of a dip. But always protect yourself. Don't over invest. I always think having some sort of fiat position is very important in cryptocurrencies, because you got to be able to buy the dip. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys soon.